to share something with you that might put me in a very negative light, yeah.
Relationships are not my forte.
See if someone grabbed up my wife or something, completely different ballgame.
I'll walk away from it, and this has been like a therapy session.
This is Umar Ahmed for IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. I'm joined by Simon Jordan in the aftermath of an incredible fight. Just talk me through it, Simon.
An absolutely incredible fight. I mean, we saw a great fight last week between Eubank Jr. and Liam Smith. This was on a different level. This fight was absolutely a sensational fight. Anthony Yarde was in the fight, all the way through the fight. Hit this fella with some phenomenal shots. But this guy's a machine. Just keeps on coming, keeps on coming, keeps on coming. And you look at Anthony Yarde, and you think to yourself, what did he have to do to win that fight? Because he hit that fella with some really, really good shots. But I think when they pulled him out, the first reaction was everyone was disappointed. But I think it's sensible. I think his trainer was sensible because he was in trouble, and it was only going to be about how much punishment he was going to ship. So whilst it was disappointing to see it stop that way, I think it's probably the right decision.
How did you have it before the stoppage?
Do you know what? Honestly, I was trying to think about scoring it, but I was too engrossed in the fight. I was too busy thinking that one of these guys is going to get knocked out to even bother scoring it. I looked at it after that round 5 and think to myself, wow, are these guys going to continue going this way? I'm always worried that Anthony might run out of gas, but what he put on there was a tremendous performance. People talked about the fact this was going to be a golfing class. There's a golfing belief and a golfing experience, and Beterbiev or Beterbiev, or whatever we call him, is an incredible fighter. That's why he's got 18, 19 wins now. Every one of them a stoppage or a TKO, because he's an incredible competitor. And Anthony Yarde did himself a lot of service there, but at the end of the day, a good fight is one you win, not one you put up, isn't it?
Absolutely. Have you seen clear improvements since the Kovalev fight?
Oh, very much so. I mean, I thought he was very loose when he came in. I thought he was very relaxed. I thought he believed in himself. You know, he couldn't stop hitting him with left hooks for the first couple of rounds, but you've got to keep giving it back to the champion. He came into an environment, albeit it wasn't a bear pit like Chris Eubank Jr. came in last week, but it was still an environment that was very weighted, obviously in favour of Anthony Yarde. And he kept on coming forward, and he kept on coming forward, and he kept on taking the belief from Anthony as the rounds went on, and he always finished the rounds well. But you're looking at fighting in small margins, and that's what makes world champions in every sport, small margins.
Simon, just lastly, away from this, we saw a statement from Robert Smith saying that, from his point of view, Conor Benn and his team aren't cooperating about the 2 failed tests. What do you make of that?
Well, I think that's slightly sad, because I think it's an unedifying set of circumstances. Because if Conor Benn is going to exonerate himself, if that's what he's going to do, I'd like to think that he would want to start doing it with the British Boxing Board of Control. I know I call it the British Boxing Board of No Control, but in this instance, I do think that there should be a relationship that Conor Benn thinks he needs to maintain by exonerating, clearing his name, or taking the consequences of it. It's all well and good saying a 270-page report to Suleiman at WBC because they're not particularly motivated to do anything. He's a British fighter. I'm a huge fan of Conor Benn's. If there's punishment to take it, redeem yourself like Tyson Fury did, like Canelo Alvarez did, like to some extent Alexander Povetkin did. Or if you're going to exonerate yourself, well, come on then. Why wouldn't you do it? There's no witch hunt, there's no conspiracy theory. You know, there's nobody looking out to do Conor Benn down. So I'm disappointed. And I'm disappointed that perhaps the British Boxing Board of Control don't have more teeth. Because they, you know, if Conor's going to find a way around not having to deal with them, and yet still fight in this country, something wrong about that, I think.
Simon, thank you very much for your time. I hear you getting Coogan into Talk Sport.
You never know. We might help him along the way, give him a little bit of a guiding, a little bit of focus. Yeah, Coogan's a good lad. And, you know, whilst I don't always agree that the interviews he does are always straight down the barrel, I do respect him.
I'm going to share something with you that might put me in a very negative light, yeah.
Relationships are not my forte.
See if someone grabbed up my wife or something, completely different ballgame.
I'll walk away from it, and this has been like a therapy session.